Okay, so now I have my HSP data file open. This is what you'll see. You're going to see a lot of different variables are present in this file, but you're only going to focus on the variable that you're told to complete the calculation with. So in this case, I'm not going to do the same calculation that you would for the assignment, but we'll look at maybe the math for descriptive statistics. So I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to go to Analyze, and I'm going to go to Descriptive Statistics. Now there are other ways to get to this same point, so if you look on a YouTube video, you might see something slightly different, but this is the way that I think you'll get to the most operations that you'll need for descriptive statistics. So I wanted to do math, and so I'm going to go down to the math achievement. Now notice this little icon on the left, that needs to match the variable file. That means that this is going to be an interval or a ratio level variable. So you're going to move the variable over that you want to do the calculations for, and then you're going to go to Options. Once you click in Options, you're going to select what you want to do for your calculations. So you might want a mean, a standard deviation, a variance, a range, a min and a max. You're never going to want SE mean. That's never something that you would select. You can also look at skewness, and then you would want to take a look at, this would just stay as it is in variable list. So then you would click continue, and notice it loops you right back to here. So from continue, you will click OK, and don't freak out, it does pop up in the output viewer. So notice how that screen was behind here, it didn't just come to the front. That's because this is how it works. So if I'm looking here, my N statistic means I have 75 values in that column. That's just how many. My range is 25.33. So if I did the highest value minus the lowest value, this is what I would get. The min and the max are not necessarily significant at this very moment, but that's how the range was found. It gives me my mean, my standard deviation, and my variance. Now, skewness is something that we'll be addressing throughout the course, so you can get in a good habit. What's nice is you can copy this box. So you can do a screenshot and insert it as a picture into your document, or you can go ahead and save it right here, and you can save your output as a PDF or as a JPEG. But you want to basically get this out. So when I work with this, I can do a copy and paste into Microsoft Word. So if I look at something like this document, I can copy and paste it directly. It's my understanding that not everyone has that ability, and it doesn't go over as easily for everyone, but that is possible. So let's just try it one more time with a different variable so you can see it happening twice. So this time I'm going to look at a variable that might not quite make as good of sense as an interval or ratio. So let's look at academic, no, that's only two. Let's look at calc. We'll look at this calc score. And if you don't know what the calc score is, you can go to variable view, and it gives you information about each of the variables. So if I want to go to calc, see that's listed, I double clicked on it. So this is calculus in high school, and the value 0 means that it's not taken, and 1 means that it's taken. So if I want to know basic information, it's a nominal variable, and then that's basically all this really tells me. If you accidentally find yourself in this view, you can just click data view to come back. And then you could do the same thing if we wanted to know what math achievement was. Math achievement, if I click in this values, it gives me a high score and a low score. So that's what it means. And it's a scale variable, which means it's going to be interval or ratio. So we can always click data view to come back. So we're going to find the achievement score then for calc. So we're going to do descriptives, and they're not really going to make a whole ton of sense because it's just a 0 or a 1. So I'm going to have to pull math achievement back over, and you don't really ever want to do more than one variable unless you're doing something more complex than the knowledge check for this group. So I'm going to bring over calculus. I'm going to click on my options. It should hold the options every single time you do it, so you shouldn't have to re-click on things. But I like to double check always because I'm always doing different things. It goes into the output viewer because it doesn't have that. And so now you'll see that I have a range of 1, and the lowest value is 0, the highest value of 1 is 1. The mean doesn't really make sense, right? Because it's either yes, you took it, or no, you didn't. But we can still find it, but it takes a human to say, that doesn't really make sense. And therefore, neither does the standard deviation or the variance or the skewness. We can calculate them, but that doesn't mean that they have meaning in the context of, did you take calculus, yes or no? There's not really room for a 0.11 in there. So that's how you will complete the things for the knowledge check. You will copy and paste this into your knowledge check document, and then you will use the sample write-up to basically describe what we see in the table. So you should say, for the variable math achievement test, there were 75 values. The range was this, the mean was this, standard deviation and variance, and then you're going to include the output table beneath your paragraph. Remember, the IBM SPSS for Introductory Statistics book is where you will be getting all of your sample write-ups. Now, for this one, it's not as complex as inferential statistics. You're basically just going to say exactly what I said. There are this many values, here's the range, here's the mean, standard deviation, and variance. So you want to keep it pretty simple there. But we'll work on this when we meet again in class, and you'll be able to walk through it in your groups and ask questions. But I wanted to equip you pre-class always with a video on how to access the menus and how to find your data.